Radio Rahim with Mikaela Mayer. We're out here in London once again, and you're back on the card. You're back in the big fight. Smith Eubank returns, and so does Mikaela Mayer. How does it feel to be climbing through those ropes in less than a week?
Good. I've had a really great camp. I feel like a new fighter, honestly. You know, I've been dieting down to 130 for my whole career, and now I'm letting myself fill out, and I feel stronger physically and mentally. I've been able to do more in the gym because I have more fuel, more energy, and I'm just excited to take that into the ring.
You know, they say a happier fighter is a better fighter.
Yeah.
When you don't have to stress about your weight and look at every calorie, does that make for a better training camp, a better way to prepare?
Yeah, so I think one thing I really noticed is that my sparring, I am so much more focused throughout the entire 12. I mean, I'm sparring like 12 3-minute rounds in the gym. And whereas before, if I was getting down to 130, like Coach Al would make me do that, but I'd be dying by the end, out of calories, you know? This time I'm staying, my mind is working all the way through, and it's because I know I'm fully fueled, and it just made it more fun. You know, every workout wasn't just like getting through it at some point in the camp. It stayed fun like the whole entire camp, and I felt great. So I didn't realize how shitty it was to get to 130 until this camp. Like, really, I thought I was just a fighter doing my thing and grinding and working hard, and it just sucked. Like, I just thought that's how it was. And I'm like, no, it doesn't have to suck. It doesn't have to. And so, yeah, I feel great.
How does it, if it does, change the way you fight? And what I mean is a lot of lean fighters that are, breaking themselves down and stay as lean as possible feel like their quickness and their speed, sometimes they're being light on their feet, requires them to be that light. Has that changed for you at all?
No, not at all. If anything, I used to have to run a ton to get to 130, like every single day. I was sprinting, I was doing distance, intervals, all kinds of stuff, but every day. Mm-hmm. And I don't run as much anymore. I don't have to. I'm doing more explosive training. I'm working that other energy system that's making me more explosive and quick. And I'm able to have those bursts without feeling fatigued. So that's what I've been working on. And it hasn't affected my conditioning at all. Like I said, I'm still going 12 3-minute rounds. I just feel more explosive. And that's one thing that I really want to get to, especially if I'm fighting at a higher weight with heavier girls.
We know that a lot of women's boxing matches go to the distance, and sometimes the decision cannot agree with you. So the best way to keep it out of the judges' hands is to get knockouts. Yeah. Does more weight bring more power?
Yeah. I mean, the thing with me is that I've been focused on that because when you're dieting down to 130 for so long, it takes a long time to reverse that, right? I can't just put on weight. I have to put on proper weight. I have to put on good muscle. And so that, like I said, that takes time. But I feel like I'm working at the UFC PI with a strength coach there named Gavin. And man, I love it over there. I feel so strong. He's been working with me so well. And so I'm really excited. I'm feeling it in the gym, but I want to take it into the ring in a fight, which I know can be different. So we'll see, but I know I'm just getting better and better and stronger.
I know this fight's at 142. Are you still trying to figure out kind of where you're going to land, where you're going to stay and be comfortable?
No, I'm going to 47. I am. This is just a fight to help me, like I said, because it takes time to reverse what I did in my body staying at 130, right? Or what I didn't let my body do at 130. So now this will be a step up to 142 and then 147 so that I can let my body fill out and be strong enough to be competitive at 147.
Now, what we see in the ring a lot of times, the fans just see the punches landed and the punches missed, but they don't see, like we're talking about now, what it takes to get a fighter in shape and to be ready to absorb those kind of shots and deliver power shots. And that's part of the game. So you have to get there honest. And obviously, we've had a bit of controversy in boxing, men and women now in the sport, as far as people cheating their way into that moment. So your rival, Alycia Baumgardner, obviously has tested positive for substances. She claims she has no idea how that happened. She claims that she's completely innocent. I guess first, do you take her at her word in that regard?
Honestly, the levels that were in her system were pretty damn high. So, yeah, she's entitled to the due process and to go through trial and whatever. But, I just think she's going to have a hard time proving those levels. They seem pretty damn high. And, it's sad. I hope it's not true, but it feels pretty real to me. Unfortunately, you can't take back how it's affected the division or other females that she's gone up against in the past couple of years because she's had a great run. But, she's not my problem anymore. She's got to figure it out and clear her name if she can. It's not my problem.
Right. It's not us to adjudicate, but Dillian White, another one who claims that he has no idea how this happened. But at the same time, we have to ask ourselves, which is part of the debate, what should be the penalty when people test positive and have no way of proving their innocence? Then we assume that the test is correct. What do you feel like is an appropriate penalty for a drug cheat in boxing?
There's different positive tests, right? There's things that, some people, there is contamination things that happen, right? There is, you put this certain lotion on this cream that maybe had something illegal in it, or some diuretic, blah, blah, blah. These are lower level things. And then there's hardcore PEDs and hardcore steroids. So obviously there needs to be a fluctuation in punishment between those, I think. But I don't know it's not my job to come up with what that is. I do think it needs to be more than a slap on the wrist, because there needs to be fear instilled in these athletes. And we have to be very, very cautious about what we put into our body, and fearful that our career could be on the line if we are to test positive for something. So it seems like a lot of people are willing to take that risk. So there's got to be more fear, because it's too many people.
And they're not just taking the risk for themselves, they're taking the risk for the credibility of the sport on whole.
Exactly. No, there's a lot of people saying that, everyone's on it. Everyone in boxing's on it. It's like, no. I don't want the sport to lose credibility in that sense, because that's not true.
Do you feel like a positive test like this, if she can't manage to clear her name, does that throw your fight with her into question? Does it make you look back and think, was this a fair fight in the first place?
We'll never know, right? So someone tests positive once. Is that the first time they did it, or is that the first time they got caught? We'll never know. I'm not going to sit here and dwell on it. That's not going to do me any good. That's the sad part about when something like this happens. It can't take back everything that's happened over the last couple of years and how it's affected the fights she's had in the whole division. So, what am I going to do? We'll never know. So I can't dwell on it. I just have to move on and focus on fights ahead of me.
And lastly on this, I know how badly you wanted the rematch right after the fight. Now that this has happened, we assume if she does get back in the ring, she'll be clean that time. Is that a rematch you still want?
Alycia Baumgardner is not on my mind anymore. I've moved up in weight. So for me to sit here and call her out doesn't make any sense. I'm moving up to 147. If she wants to move up to 147 one day and we align, we'll see. I'll have to see how I feel about, if she ends up being guilty and this goes through, I'll have to see how I feel about giving her an opportunity in that to fight me again. I don't know how I feel about that. We have to see how things play out. But as of now, she's got some issues to deal with. A lot of issues. I don't see her stepping into the ring for at least another year, because this is going to take some time. So, I'm on another path.
I've heard you say big fights is what you want. And, in boxing, sometimes the big fights are not the title fights. It's about the money fights. It's about the big spotlight. Being through what you have been through recently, what is more important to you now? Is it the big money fights or the big belts?
The big money fights, the big fights. Mm-hmm. And obviously the belts come with that, right? They eventually come with that. But, for me, I've always wanted to make the biggest fights possible in the sport. I want to be a part of the biggest fights possible. And that may include a belt, and that may sometimes not include a belt. I'm a perfect example, right? I don't have a belt, but I'm still a big name fighter that a lot of people would love to step in the ring with. I'm still going to be a good payday for them, right? So, times are changing in that sense for women's boxing, but obviously I want to go for the belts. Tasha Jonas is top of my list right now. She's the IBF belt at 147, so I'm hoping to get that fight done first.
And lastly, when my mother changed her hair color, I always thought it was going to be trouble in the house, because when a woman does that, she means business. What are we going to see Saturday night from the new Mikaela Mayer, and why the hair color change?
I just wanted to switch it up a little bit. I don't know. I've always kind of wanted to go this color, or I used to back in the day, but I was really kind of regretful for the first couple of days because I love the blonde so much, but I'm kind of digging it now. And you can't be, the blonde's harsh in the hair, so I had to give it a little break and go dark for a while.
Well, the blonde looks great. This looks dangerous. So we'll see you Saturday night, Radio Rahim with Mikaela Mayer.